Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Friday, May 24th, 2024. Let's take a look at the charts. I'll start with the big picture. There's not much to glean here, at least for the day or the next week or so, but this does underscore what I consider to be a longer term, that is to say, a roughly 1 year bear trend off that July high. Lower low, lower high dynamic, and defined clearly as 222.22, a descending channel top that is parallel with the series of lows that have occurred over the last 8-9 months. 222.22 is bear trend resistance long-term, sellable resistance, and below which a long-term heavy dynamic continues to plague this market. In fact, to underscore that, you can see that we had a buy signal actually, and I can go back to this chart here, about 3 days ago when we opened and closed above this 170.99 descending channel top. And trend support in terms of bullish momentum remaining intact was considered to be the case above the 179.42, a newly formed rising channel bottom. Now, the buy signal that occurred on Tuesday of this week was rejected on Thursday when we closed below 179.42. This despite the fact that we've yet to fall back and retest this descending channel top. But I think we've fallen back into what I would call a vulnerability or a susceptibility to meaningful bearish rotation, bearish continuation, not long term, but over the next 3 to 5 days perhaps, back to 160.25. And that is what we're indicating here. So really what I'm saying here, the fact that we're still in a long-term bear trend, as outlined in the beginning of this video just a few moments ago, that this failure to follow through on a pretty classic buy signal, expecting 195.44 as we were, has now been neutralized. And the settlement yesterday below 179.42 does anticipate 160.25, probably by the end of next week. In fact, on the way down today, we do have 170.99 that can certainly contain intraday selling. And from here, we could round back up to 179.42 on an intraday basis. But breaking 170.99, we could potentially test 160.25 today. But I will say merely that closing below 170.99 should yield what I consider to be a 3 to 5 day objective at 160.25 in as little as 1 to 3 days. So this is our 3 to 5 day dynamic right now. Selling 179.42, anticipating 160.25. And for day traders, there's certainly a decent spot that you can pivot off of at 170.99, above which 179.42 in reach today. And I will say that merely closing below 170.99 should yield our 3 to 5 day objective at 160.25 in as little as 1 or 2 days. Where yes, we can bottom out here through next week and from here round back up. As I've said now for the last few weeks, we're just kind of taking this in 1 to 2 week time frames right now in terms of trend dynamics, predictive moves, and I don't really see anything developing beyond that other than the long-term trend remains heavy. And so the trend is your friend, of course. In other words, you might play the short side more aggressively than the long side as we move into June, July. Right now, heavy this week through next week, below 179.42, expecting 160.25 by the end of next week. Now, if we close today back above 179.42, this 195.44 formation, then likely by the end of next week. So that is your 3 to 5 day up pivot. Closing above 179.42, 195.44 likely by the end of next week. Upside today, if we happen to push or open above 179.42, we could, by the closing bell, reach 188.71 under a high volatility dynamic. But we could also top out at either of these minor points on an intraday basis, possibly through the balance of the day. Closing above 179.42, I would expect 195.44 by the end of next week, where we could actually top out into possibly through June activity. As I've been saying now for the last few weeks, only if we can close above 190.44 would I then anticipate within 2 to 3 weeks or less this 220.73 long-term channel top on the daily chart, which is the same formation I showed a moment ago on the weekly chart at 222.22. So we need to close above the mid 190s in order to yield 222.22. Long-term resistance, able to contain buying through Q3, and from there we can fall away again. And yes, there would be a meaningful buy signal into later year if we can, over the next, 3 to 5 weeks, close above this 222.22 channel top. Let's go back to the downside. You're looking at this 140.50 trend line that we tested about a month and a half ago and came off of nicely. It would be considered a 2 to 3 week objective if we were to close today, for instance, below 160.25. But not so fast. We do need to close below 160.25, and we're a solid 3 to 5 days away from testing this as we speak right now. Holding below 179.42, expects 160.25 by the end of next week, where we could bottom out through the following week, round back up, and we'll just see what the charts are showing at that time. There are new channel tops that'll be coming down, so forth and so on. It would be a settlement below 160.25, dropping daily, that then, yes, would clearly indicate that long-term trend line at 140.50 within just another week or two of activity. And I keep saying this, and it's true. And in fact, I'm going to go back to this chart just to make this point, that if we close below 160.25, this may be a much longer term sell signal as we continue into June, July, that would then result in a violation of 140.50 over the following week or two. There is a case to be made, and I'm making it right now, that if we close below 160.25, given the fact that we remain in a long-term bear market below 222.22, that we could, within several months, wind up retesting this 101.81 January 23 low. So let me say that one more time, that if we close below 160.25, you long-term trend followers, you long-term traders who are comfortable playing the short side of the market, you may then play the short side, in my opinion. Closing below 160.25, you may then consider reaching for 101, 102 strike out of the money puts that don't expire for at least, I would go 6 months out. That could be a solid 2 to 3 month play, maybe much sooner than that, but it could take that long following a settlement below 160.25. I think I've said it all. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. I'll be back Sunday afternoon. Actually, sorry, this is a long weekend. I misspoke in the SPY and the Triple Q. I'll be back Monday afternoon with Tuesday's Tesla report. You have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.